Hey all, it's Louis D again. So for this video, as you notice, I just came from work. Pardon me for the work clothes. So for this video, I'll be doing a book review, as usual, of one of the most hyped books in BookTube. And to me personally, the reason why I decided to pick it up is because it has a very interesting, plot. So I'm going to be talking about The Hate You Give. Okay. So this is one of the books in my first ever book haul, and I've heard a lot of good things about it. A lot of booktubers are raving about it, so I decided to pick it up. So this story, or this book, follows the plot of the girl named Star, who witnesses her friend's murder or crime. Her friend Khalil got shot by a police called Officer 115, or Brian. And as they fight for the case, what she is about to say, nobody knew what happened, only her. And what Star is about to say can affect her community as well as her safety, and of course the safety of her family. I think that's a way to put it. Now, I read this book and overall I was satisfied. I mean, what were my findings about it? Now, it really talked a lot of intense and very deep themes. The only comment that I would have to say, or rather the remarks that I noticed, is because I think this was written in a way like as if we are reading Star's diary, because it was all the perspective of Star all throughout the story. You would not I don't know if this is going to be like a spoiler or whatever, if you're watching this video right now. I don't know. I mean, you would probably want to hear more about the book. That's why you're watching about the video, or want to hear my thoughts about it. But anyway, going back, so it was only discussed in Star's point of view, and I don't know, for some reason, because I wanted to know like if I'm really gonna get angry or anything. I don't know what it's like to be in the United States. I don't know how people of color, deal with different discriminatory issues as well. I'll be honest with that. But just to me, in a more like objective or rational stance, I wanted to kind of like see also what's going on in the mind of the other characters. I felt like it could have been written in a different way, especially when you're like, dropping the ball on some other person. Like, I kind of wanted to also read the perspective of 115, like probably some blurbs about his thoughts or whatsoever. I wanted to hear that one. And what else can I say? I think that was only like my concerns. It's like I felt like I could have seen more perspectives. And just a little warning, this might give you some thoughts about the ending. The ending to me is, it's like that's how life is, and we just gotta move on. Now, that's not the exact ending, but that's the vibe that I felt, which I liked about. But overall, the book is really strong, and one of the comments here said that if The Hate You Give makes you uncomfortable, that's because it should, because a lot of the themes here, it's gonna make you uncomfortable. They talked about police violence, about human rights as well, which is a very heated topic here in the Philippines, with the whole EJKs, I should say, and all the police violence, the war against drugs. It's weird lately. I feel like I've been reading a lot of, books related about drugs, which is weird. I don't intend to be, and drugs are bad. No, illegal drugs. No. Yeah, no to that. But what I just noticed that whenever I read books about people of color, it had something to do with drugs. Which, by the way, another trigger for this book, it does talk about drugs. There's a lot of, violence involved in this one, or if there's a relative amount of violence, as well as there's a lot of cussing here. If you're not into like cursing or like, the bad words, if you feel uncomfortable reading that stuff, then maybe this book isn't for you. But if you don't mind, then go ahead, read it. It does talk a lot about themes, about Actually, a lot of people were like pointing out about racism about this book and the police violence. But what really struck me in this book is when I think it was Star and her dad were talking about why people do bad and why like the social construct, or like if that's the term, how society works basically in other ways. I talked about how the lack of opportunities for people of color, or even with immigrants, what I'm saying, or just because or ex-convicts, for instance, regardless whether they're proven guilty or they were absolved, or they were proven innocent apparently, and that if you hear somebody who had like a felony or a criminal record or a misdemeanor, it's going to be affecting their work life, and they have no choice but they want to do something bad again, or it tempts them to do something really bad, which is not exactly like healthy for the society, because and kind of the root is like the lack of opportunities. That really struck me a lot, and it also made me think about the whole does one deserve to die just because. I do think that people make choices. Yes, we are driven by circumstances, and there are like consequences for every choice that we make, and we're not like in heaven, so in terms of like the reality is we're in the world we're in, things are not really perfect, and there, like I said, there will always be consequences. Like even when I talked about my opinions in book 2 video, with anything that you say or do, basically there are consequences about it. So overall, I really liked it. I think I'm actually a bit torn, because for me the only like thing that I really like that caught my attention in not in a good way would be the lack of perspectives. For me, I know that's like an unpopular opinion. Everybody's like, "Woo, the hate you give." Oh, by the way, I just realized THUG, Bug Life. Hoorah! Anyway, so yeah, that's the only comment. I felt like there could have been more perspectives, probably some blurbs, or like every now and then if you flip to the next chapter, we would hear like a short thoughts about like, no, he deserves to die because he's white. I wanted to like read that if that's what's happening with Officer 115. I feel threatened. We only heard about it when his dad was speaking, but when his dad appeared in the news, but never in the book did we hear about what was going on with 115. So I felt like it was just like one-sided. I felt like, I don't know, like I just felt like it that I wanted to hear more. I didn't know if like it elicited enough emotions to me. I mean, it made me, yes, uncomfortable, because in a way that this is reality. There are certain things in life that needs to be paid attention, and it could have been better if it was also discussing other perspectives, especially when I wanted to hear anything from 115. Now, there were also things here that were mentioned that were, that pertains to like the white supremacy or the white superiority, but it was more like on the side characters. I was wanting to hear it from someone who's like kind of like the villain in this whole thing. And yep, there's actually more to it. You guys have to check it out. I'm giving it, I think I would say 4.5 out of 5 stars, so that's relatively high, because overall I enjoyed it. I don't know, for some reason I've been cuddling it and all. Like whenever I'm going home and I'm about to, take the van going home, I would like carry this book and show it around, walking around the street, hey, to give, hey. I'm so happy holding this book. Oh, by the way, this is one of like the rare books that I have that are in hardcover or hardbound, because I usually buy paperbacks because they're much reasonable. But I can't wait to get this book. It might not, it might be out of stock, because when I bought this, it wasn't really sold to a lot of bookstores, and then it was majorly released and it was now, if not everywhere, almost everywhere. So kudos to Angie Thomas. There may still be some improvements that needs to be done. This is a debut work, but it's a powerful one. It was award winning, so I give credit to that. It's just me, I guess, as a reader or a consumer. it's my own. You have no choice! Anyway, so I guess that's about it for this video. I hope you guys learned and heard some other perspectives about, The Hate U Give. I know it's a very popular, and I would definitely still recommend it. And no regrets. When I pick books and I buy them, I don't know, there's just that feeling that I don't really regret them, except for Twilight. But I don't really completely regret Twilight because I like the physical thing. So it's a good addition. Anyway, so thumbs up for Hate U Give. And speaking of thumbs up, if you like this, so give it a thumbs up as well. Feel free to put in your reactions as well. Oh, and I know, by the way, I forgot to say, this is about to be released in a movie. I don't know if it will be released in the Philippines. So if it will be released in the Philippines, I'm hoping that I'll have budget and, I'll have enough money and budget and time. So, but yeah, I've been saying budget a lot. Basically time and money to, watch the movie. So I'm just really looking forward to that one. So yeah, I think I'm pretty good. And if you guys liked it, feel free to put in down your reactions. Also, feel free to check me out in social media. In LiveJournal and in Wattpad, both of them have usernames of LewisT. Also, I just created a bookish Twitter, so that's LewisT_524. I'll be putting the links in the description box, so feel free to check me out, follow me. Yes, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and unleash the reader in you. Bye, y'all.